Hello, welcome back to more One Piece TCG, where we play on the sim and then I show you a bunch of decks, or I show you a deck and then I proceed to play a bunch of games that I potentially win or don't lose. I either win or I don't win. This is the current thing that I'm cooking with. I would say out of all the decks that I've shown and played, this is probably the most vanilla thing I think I've done in a while. I think, I don't know, like I've been playing a lot more interesting decks, or at least like leaders that have different flavors, a little off meta. This is kind of closer to meta stuff. The Reiju leader tends to have like a pretty set pattern of what you want to do. I have tried to come in here and, you know, kind of mix things up a little bit, and for the most part I would say it is pretty well mixed. This is like a mixed salad with, like, I don't know, a balsamic vinaigrette. You know, a little fancy, but, you know, something you'd expect to see at like the Cheesecake Factory or something. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking about Reiju. Reason why is I just got this. Oh, well, actually, if you remember from, I think, last stream, we had done a Burndy World deck with Kaido. And at the end of that, I was talking about Reiju, wanting to do Reiju with the Burndy World card. However, as soon as I started building Reiju with the Burndy World deck, I ended up liking the Reiju engine more than Burndy World. So I'm like, all right, forget it. This deck doesn't need that dumb card. It can stand on its own two legs just fine. And obviously, we're going to be getting some new support pretty soon. I think we saw this, Jerma. I think we saw these cards last week, I believe. The ones that I'm the most interested in is obviously the 2K Reiju. It's another searcher. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to kind of get the Foxy engine out of here. Obviously, then we would also be putting in the Vinsmoke Niji in place of Foxy here, which is not a big deal. Like, we don't have a way of playing Niji out unless we just want to hard cast it, but it's a 2K counter. It's a searchable thing, so it's probably just a better 2K than Foxy is. And then of course we have the Ichiji, that's the blocker that would obviously be taking the place of Chopper in the future. Let's see, Jerma, well, you're carrying one dirt, and then trash two cards. This is pretty good. It's trashing two from the top of your deck. That's a little stressful. But to be fair, you want to see, like, the only thing you don't want to see in your trash is you don't want to see the smaller versions of your Vinsmokes. Sora does a good job of recycling them back into your hand in case they do end up in the trash. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I think overall those are the major changes that we're going to make in OP11, which I'm not looking forward to OP11. OP11 looks like it's going to be a majority. It's going to be a majority of blue purple Luffy, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that meta. I like where we are. I like OP10. OP10 is so good right now with the bans right now and the huge meta shift that we're dealing with. Things have been good. Why do we have to change it? We're getting ready for EBO2 to come out soon. EBO2 is coming out in like a month, so people are going to start playing in the green purple leader, the new Luffy, because that's a pretty good list. That was the first sign of like, oh, purple Straw Hats is a thing. Well, no, technically red purple Luffy was the first sign of purple. Well, no, we have to go all the way back to OP5 where purple Luffy first came out, and it's like, okay, here are the sprinkles. Here's the twinkle in the eye of good purple leaders or good purple Straw Hat cards. And now in OP11, we're dealing with some pretty busted leaders. Well, one busted leader in the form of red purple Luffy. Or blue purple Luffy. There you go. I got there at the end. But anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Reiju today. So we'll do just a card by card, talk about the cards in here, why they're here, and, you know, the hopes of what we're going to do with this deck. So Reiju is a 5K 4-life leader, blue purple leader. We're spoilers, in OP11 or no, OP12 we're getting a Sanji with the same colors, but without the Germa labeling. It has the Vinsmoke family, but it doesn't have the Germa labeling. It has the Straw Hat labeling, which arguably is better because then you get to run Gum Gum Giant. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. But Reiju has once per turn, or your turn once per turn. When one of your Dawn cards is returned to your Dawn deck, draw one card. Pretty decent. Like, we're doing a lot of searching and a lot of drawing in this deck. Like, it's very, I would say it's pretty common that you're gonna draw your first few searches that you bottom decked, if that makes sense. Like, the first cards you bottom decked from your first search, you will very likely see on turn, I don't know, turn 5? I'm not 100% sure. You really chew through this deck very quickly, so it's really important for you to pay attention, like to have a vague idea what's at the bottom of your deck. You mostly want to push your Vinsmoke stuff to the top, leave your Foxy stuff towards the bottom, and your non-interesting cards that are not tribal specific in the bottom. Anyways, next card, Gion. I am like, mark my word, this is gonna be a good card. I don't think it's gonna be a 4 of, but I think a tech of 2 of Gions in any deck, and any blue deck, is arguably mandatory moving forward if nothing happens to blue purple Luffy. I would say this is a pretty mandatory 2 of in any blue deck. Gion is a 4/5 2k counter navy blue card or blue character. Your turn once per turn, when your opponent activates an event, your opponent places one card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. This is good. This is gonna keep obviously blue Nami in check. This was the original blue Nami checker. It's making sure they keep them humble, keep them playing a fair game. But now we're keeping blue purple Luffy and even purple Luffy now, because I've seen purple Luffy list switch over to the Don Quixote family package, the new one. Let's see, Don. So they started playing these cards right here. So the new set 10 stuff, which I understand, like obviously we were talking about before in the past, but Senior Pink, easy way to pull Gum Gum Giant out of your grave. Rosinante, great way to let's see, trash an event. So if you got extra events in your hands, you can trash it for card draw. And then what else do we have? We have the Searchers, and then we have the 2k counter, and then of course you have the big body. You have the Doflamingo himself, who can play out Senior Pink, and who can also play out Rosinante. I believe it was this also a 2k counter. And then obviously we have probably one of the better purple cards, not as good as Black Bug, which you know, nice little surprise to discover that Black Bug is arguably better than God Thread. God Thread is great though. God Thread ramps you a Dawn as well as KOing a 5-drop. Black Bug doesn't do that, but Black Bug is also one less Dawn, so it's easier to kind of fudge the numbers and, you know, get more plays out. So I like it. I like Black Bug, but arguably this could be the better choice. It's just, you know, it's not searchable. But yeah, so yeah, Gion, I think moving forward will be just kind of a mandatory, at least 2 of. You know, you could do a 1 of, but you're probably not going to see it. Well, maybe in Reiju you'll see it, but in most blue decks you may not see one of these. Pudding, same thing as Gion, mandatory 2 of ever since it got printed. It's a great way to keep big hands in check. So again, our same targets, our Namis, our blue purple Luffys, these little guys, we got to keep them in check. We got to make sure to keep them humble with our puddings. If anyone starts running away with the game with cards in hand, this is a great way to keep them in check. Obviously, not Lim, but Green Uta is another notorious deck that runs away with cards in hand. So pudding's great for that. So yeah, these two are just like, you know, good stuff. Tech cards. EGG, our first EGG of the deck. This is one of the main reasons why you want to play Vinsmoke. Why you want to play the Vinsmoke Germa 66 engine is a 4 cost 4k power 1k counter. Activate main Dawn -1. You may trash this character if your leader is Germa 66 type. You may play 1 cost 7 Vinsmoke EGG from your hand or trash. That's pretty good because our 7-drop is the 7-drop EGG, which is a 7/7 or 7 cost 7k power, no counter. It's fine, not the end of the world, because we tend to trash these anyways. On play, if you have equal to or less Dawn on the field than your opponent, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power for the turn, then this character gains rush. This is so good. This is so busted. This almost feels like I mean, essentially this is your top end. Like, this is a pretty good boss monster for like an aggressive mid-range deck. This is what I want to see more of in different aggro list. Like this, like imagine if Red Zoro had access to this card. It would be busted. It'd be over for him. Brother, he'd be running away with the game every game. But yeah, EGG is probably one of your best things. This is what you always want to be looking for. This and obviously your Reijus are your primary targets. Everything else is secondary, more or less. But yeah, great card. And then here's our Vinsmoke Sora. Sora is a 1-drop, 0 power, 2k counter. On play, you may discard a card from your hand. If you have equal or less onto your field than your opponent, add to your hand up to 1 character with a cost of 4k power or less that has the Vinsmoke family type from the trash. So obviously the Sora is going to be pulling out our ETGs. You're going to be pulling out our Reijus, our low cost ones. So then we can go ahead and replay our big bodies with the smaller bodies. So great card. I almost didn't have, when I first made this list, I forgot Sora existed and I was playing the deck without Sora and I felt very silly. I was like, wait, what is this card? I was like, oh, this is a pretty big deal. This is a card you want in the deck, especially with the with that new card, with the new Ichiji term. Yeah, with this new Ichiji, you definitely want that Sora in your list, because blind trashing 2 cards from the top of your deck could be rough. So you want a backup plan to pull them back out. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way. Can it pull itself out? But I feel like that's a little counterintuitive. Is it? Maybe. Vinsmoke family. Yeah, I guess technically Sora could pull Sora out of the trash, so there could be a scenario where you want to pull one out with the other. I guess if you accidentally trashed one and you just need an extra one, you could do that, I think. And then, okay, so next card. Next card is our Reiju. Vinsmoke Reiju is a 2-drop, 2k power, 1k counter, activate main, Dawn -1, you may trash this character. If your leader has the Germa 66 type, you may play up to 1 cost 4 Vinsmoke Reiju from your hand or trash, which in this case, it's going to be this Reiju. Reiju is a 4/5, 1k counter on play. If you have equal or less Dawn on the field than your opponent, and if you have 5 or less cards in hand, draw 2 cards. This plays really great with our leader ability. Well, technically it's this one that plays great with our leader ability, because we Dawn -1, we use our ability, and then we draw 2 extra. So that's like 3 cards we're drawing for a turn. That's pretty big. That's basically stage. If you don't have stage, which surprise, surprise, you probably want stage. Also, you also want your searcher. So great ways to draw and do stuff. So here's the one of the little outliers of the deck. Not really so much anymore, because like a lot of people have figured out that Porch is really good. So running a Foxy engine, even if it's this small, is still worth it. So Tony Chopper. Okay, Tony Chopper is a 2/0, so 2 cost 0k power, 1k counter. It's a blocker, so can be useful. What's wrong with this dog? And then it is on play. If your board has Dawn less than or equal to your opponent's, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck rested. So slow ramp, slow playing, or yeah, slow ramping, but it is ramping and it is a blocker. It's a low cost blocker, so it still lets you place yeah, it still lets you play your Ichiji. If you have to hard cast your Ichiji, you can still play a Chopper to protect it. It's just like a little tech blocker. This could literally be anything else. This could be just the replica soldier. This could also just be the, where is it? Where is she? This one. Cosette? Corset? Is her name Corset? I believe it's Corset. She's cute, but in the show she's not treated very well. Well, you only see her for like half a minute, but yeah, she's also a blocker, but I think it's if you're, and you have, okay, so if your leader is Germa 66 and your board has 2 or more Dawn less than your opponent gains blocker, yeah, so arguably Corset would be probably a better replacement for Chopper if you want to do that now. However, I would argue that even this Ichiji, once it comes out, will be a better replacement for Chopper. So yeah, keeping that kind of stuff in mind. It's just a low cost blocker that we want to use early on, or you know, late game when we have bodies we want to protect, or if we have life we want to protect. So Porch is our 5/3. It is no counter, which is, it's okay. I guess it's fine. I mean, it is getting replaced with this Vinsmoke, with this Reiju in the future, so it's not the end of the world. But Porch is a 3/5 on play. Dawn -1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may add up to 1 card with the type Foxy Pirates to your hand, which also means it can search itself because it's not character restricted. So place the remainder on the bottom of your deck in any order you like. Then you may play up to a 4k power or lower purple character from your hand. So obviously what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to play this out. We're going to search, we're going to try to find at least either a Foxy or a Chopper, just, you know, so we don't immediately whiff with this. And then of course we're going to want to play out either Reiju or more likely Ichiji with it. Occasionally you can play out Foxy and Chopper, but if you're playing these two out, it is really choreographing that your opponent, that you do not have the rest of the pieces you need. So depends on how you want to use this. You could also just trash this to your stage if you don't have the combo pieces available to you. So keep that in mind. Black Maria, probably the first deck probably not the first deck, but the first deck in a while that I have built that hasn't abused Black Maria, which is kind of surprising because with Reiju, you want to kind of stay low and you don't really need to have 10 Dawn every single turn, or you don't need to like catch up to your opponent's Dawn. It's more advantageous if you stay like a Dawn or 2 behind your opponent, which is interesting. Really interesting that Reiju kind of operates better, more or less, at lesser Dawn. But yeah, Black Maria, we've seen a lot of Black Maria recently on this channel. So I don't think I need to really explain what Black Maria does. Just know that in most other leaders that want to use her, they abuse this ability. Reiju just happens to not need it necessarily. So this could end up getting replaced with even potentially just one of these other 2Ks, like even the Sanji, though I don't think it would be a great replacement. But yeah, Black Maria, not super abused in this, but if you're like really behind on Dawn, she can catch you back up. But man, you have to be like really trying. You have to be really aggressively Dawn minusing to really get maximum use out of Black Maria. But yeah, there she is. She's 2k counter, so always useful to have in hand. Unfortunately not searchable, so she kind of lives in the party with utility stuff. So I could potentially even drop this down to 1 or 2, or I can drop this down to like 3 or 2 and then kind of go up some of these other cards. But that's for later. That's not for thinking right now. Right now we're thinking about Sanji. Sanji is our 1k, 1 cost, 2k power, 1k counter, and it is a on play if your leader is a Germa, including its types. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the Germa included in its type, and put it into your hand. Place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is our searcher. This is our Germa searcher. Basically like 30-40 plus cards are searchable in this deck with this card, which is great because we're really looking for this, and we're definitely looking for this, and then hopefully these end up in our trash at some point. So yeah, it's our searcher. Not much to talk about here. Foxy is a 2 cost, 1k power, 2k counter. Activate main. You may trash this character if the number of Dawns on your field is equal or less to the number of your opponent's field. Draw 1 card. So that's why when you play Porsche, you could potentially play out Foxy, just because like you can draw a card if you're desperate for cards in hand, but it's pretty rare that you're gonna need that. We have Gum Gum Red Rock. So our next one is it's gonna be 6 cost event. Main, place 1 character to the bottom of its owner's deck. Trigger, place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck. So this is just hard removal. Every blood deck, every blue deck should be playing at least 2 of these, just like, you know, how they should be playing Gion and Pudding now. I would say every blue deck shouldn't leave home without at least 2 of these in their deck. It will answer anything in the meta. It doesn't matter as long as it doesn't get rotated out, which it's a set 1 card, so it might leave. Not looking forward to that. Hopefully they reprint this, because this is just good old-fashioned removal. Like it's a big ask. Like 6 Dawn is kind of a lot, especially for a deck that wants to stay low to the ground. So it's kind of a big commitment to play Red Rock. But if you got a Blackbeard on the opposite side, this is going to save you. If you have like a kid on the other side, a useless kid on the other side, this is going to help you. So yeah, still worth running until they get it out of rotation or ban it. It's still worth running. Our next one, Black Bug. Black Bug is a 4-drop event. Main, if the number of your Dawn field is equal to or less than the number of your opponents, place up to 1 card from your opponent's Okay, place up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or less characters on the bottom of its owner's deck. And then trigger, place one of your opponent's 4 cost or less characters on the bottom of its owner's deck. So another form of removal, very similar actually. If we go look at, what is it? It's something blade, right? No, I got a new keyboard. Come on, I can still type. No, not this one. What is it? Sword? No, it's a blue card. It's like, what is it? 3 million? It's a, I know it's an event. There it is. That's where it is. 3,000 Worlds. That's what it was called. So this is basically just a souped up version of 3,000 Worlds. And then it's also searchable, which is great. But yeah, 3,000 Worlds, kind of similar thing. Trigger is actually kind of worse. So actually this is still worth running. But yeah, it only has like a slight restriction of being at lesser or equal dawn to your opponent, which for Reiju is not very hard. So 99%, well, about 90% of the time you can hit your target just fine. And then our last card, of course, is our stage. Probably one of the main pillars of the deck. It is a 1-cost stage. Activate main. You may discard one card, then rest the stage. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 card with the Germa in its type and add it to your hand. Then send the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is basically just a baby Sanji, but it's repeatable every turn. And it also lets you fill up your graveyard with your bigger bodies so that you can play out your little bodies and then get these for free essentially, or at a reduced cost. So super cool. Honestly, I like this deck a lot. I've been testing it out for a few days now, and it is pretty on the rails. Like, it's I'm pretty sure there's a way to mess up the sequencing when you're playing at a higher level, but you know, at base rarity, like at the base level of this deck, is pretty simple to understand. It's pretty tempo heavy, it's pretty aggressive. You're probably not going to have issues, you know, sequencing your turns efficiently. Like, you can probably handle most matchups. The only matchup I can definitely see being an issue is Blackbeard, only because all your important stuff is on play. So that's the only time you're gonna have like a hard time with this deck, is if you're up against Blackbeard. Shanks, I don't know. Shanks is probably also a tough one. Just because Shanks can both remove and gain big bodies and power reduce. So red could be an issue. But against like most other decks, it's fine. I've had good success with this deck. I have a pretty good understanding of the list. So we're gonna take it out on a drive and see kind of what happens. You know, who knows? Maybe all the best players, like all the all the regional winners, are just going to be playing randomly on the sim tonight, so we might get completely bodied. Yeah, Reiju. So we're gonna do. I'm not gonna really tag anyone. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get targeted by Blackbeard though. If I had to guess, Blackbeards are probably gonna eat this deck up. So that's what I'm anticipating. But the nice thing about this deck is that this deck was cheap. This was dirt cheap. This cost me $5 to put together. I'm not even like joking either. I had next to 0 cards for this deck, and I was able to put this deck together for like $5, going through bulk and stuff like that. So of course, if you're trying to get this off of TCG Player, it's probably going to be about $20 more or less, depending on what cards you already have. But I was able to get it locally, and I got it for pretty dirt cheap. So I was like, yeah, screw it, whatever. Oh, Marco, interesting. I have not fought a Marco in a hot minute. We're gonna mulligan. That's fine. So he went first. What did you grab? You got, oh, this is gonna be, all right. You know what? We might be able to out aggro this. We have you. We have you. I'll grab you for now. And then if I could grab stage, that would be pretty poggers, I think. There you go. All right, let's have some fun. So we can, if we play out Porsche, we can get our ETG out, plus maybe something a little extra, which would leave us, this is a 3. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a 2K since we already have our cards. So he's definitely have to commit to removing this. I don't know if we're gonna let him have it. I doubt it. I've got cards in hand, so I don't think we should give it up. But that will definitely do something. That's a great parody card to counter this. But he can only swing for 7. Interesting. Okay. Sure, I'll take that. Very interesting. All right. I see you. Yeah, because we don't have the smaller Reiju or the smaller ETG in hand, we don't want to let this hit the trash just yet. We could do the Porsche thing again to get out. But let's actually. Why is that blocker rested? Interesting. I'm thinking about trying to get this out. He's pretty low on hand. Okay, he saved it. All right, that's fine. He's running pretty low on cards in hand, so I'm not too worried. We got him by the we got him by the chicken legs, by the chicken chicken legs? No, chicken drums? No, we got him by the drumsticks. There you go. Okay, there goes the actually he could probably get rid of Porsche. Yeah. ETG is just outside of range. Just interested to see what he's gonna do. Because we're starting to get out of hand with his characters. 2-2. Yeah, you can have that. I have another one. I don't have a backup. You know what? I think we save it. No, I don't think we save it. I think we let it go. That sucks. All right. Huh. Oh, that sucks, losing our red rock. Could have used that, but it is what it is. Let's see. 3. Oh, that's right. Yep, that's a whiff. And then we're going to try to push her up a little bit higher. And then we're going to play this. On -1. Play this out. And then I think we're going to... And that'll be it. So, okay. Got big bodies. Oh, Vista. Rip. Okay, he put the rest of Dawn over there. Alright, it's time to shut up or nut. Okay. Oh, that sucks. That's a stage. Oh, no. Oh, well. That's fine. Let's see what else we can do. We just started. So, oh, no! Okay. That's a way worse hand. Oh, frick. That was a far worse hand than what we originally had. Oh, that feels bad. Would have really loved to have that pudding by now. I had to go and shuffle away the pudding. That's fantastic. Having a great time. Love that when I start streaming, the deck immediately just fumbles. I mean, to be fair, it's also like, yeah, it's just streamer, not streamer luck. What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Because I wouldn't call it streamer luck. It's like streamer performance, streamer anxiety. I don't know. Let's see. We can try to salvage this. Oh, of course, we were going to draw the HEG next. Of course. Why wouldn't we? We would have had the cards we wanted, but no. Yeah, the goal right now is... Oh, wow. You're playing Tashigi. That's how you know they're desperate for removal, when they're playing Tashigi. We're keeping up relatively high counter in hand, so I'm not feeling too bad about defending ourselves if we have to. Does he plan on removing this? Probably plans on removing this. It's got 7 in the grave now. What's this deck looking like? Soap Sheep. Good pick. Pretty standard. I mean, this is still pretty much like a Lucci list. That's what I would expect a Lucci list to look like. But of course, we're not seeing. It's probably gonna pull out the Hina. If I had to guess, I saw Hina in there. Won't be able to KO this, but he'll have Hina. It was a Rob Lucci. Okay, so he didn't. Okay, scary, scary stuff, man. We gotta get that Ichiji out. Black Bug. Black Bug's not gonna do much. Of course, the puddings. Puddings are all right there. I needed all those puddings. Oh, I'm so annoyed. What are we at? 6? Okay, no. Cancel that. We're not doing that. I didn't realize we were both at a similar dawn. Finally, we got something. Might as well. Doesn't matter. Once we get past our first 2 games, once we get the rust off, we'll do better. You gotta trust. I'm gonna keep saying stuff like that. Like, hey, just you know, past the first 2 games, we're gonna do good. We're gonna be great. We're gonna be awesome at this. At the very least, now we have Ichiji. What are you going to cost minus? Okay, he plans on getting rid of that. You don't have rush characters, so I'm not worried. You do have Jack. You very likely have Jack, if I had to guess. I mean, you also have this Tashigi, but more likely you have Jack. Yeah, I had a feeling you had Jack. All right. So we're at 8. How will you manage to keep parity with this man in his Dawn? That's what blows my mind. So we have 4, 8. Okay, so we could Ichiji and then Black Bug. And then, so right now he is at 6. It's at 6. We can see if he just wants to get rid of it. I think he'll be able to save it, but we'll at least demand cards out of hand, which means we can swing into life. And we are stacked with 2Ks. This man is screwed. Unless he has negative hollow, which I haven't seen, we should be fine. We should be sailing. Which we had a horrible start. We've had a terrible start here. And we may have not been playing this the most optimally, but we've been able to keep up. Which shows how, you know, how much of a hit the bands took on Lucci. All right. I wonder if he's going to what's it called? Not top knot, finger pistol. Because there's no reason for him not to have finger pistol. Well, no, he has Lucci in hand actually. Oh yeah, this is within Lucci range, so say goodbye to, you know, these 2 at least. Unless he can get this down, which would be devastating. And then he still has this, which he could still, even if he got this down by 1, he can take care of this. Yeah, you're not getting it for that. Really? You threw out your finger pistol. Who are you KOing? 3 costs. Okay. Select the card to trash. I will trash. Do I have any kids? I do have an HEG in here. So we can trash there. So let's get that HEG back out then. Select the card to trash. Grabbing HEG. Loy. Dawn minus. Get him back. Oh, I love this game sometimes. It's silly. And then we can also get our... I think we can even potentially get another one. Can we get another one? Is there another one hanging out in here? No, there's not another HEG. Of course there's not. Why would they be? If we get another one out, we can... Well, no. I'm just going to do this. And then... I am going to... I think I'm going to attach one. And then... Oh, select the card to trash. And we will grab out another HEG. I would argue HEG is probably a little more important than a 2K right now, but yeah. This card can be kind of dangerous. It's the first time I've used Sora like as a character. We're at least forcing him to remove this. And we're going to bring it back out if he tries to remove it again. All right, he's definitely getting rid of this. Nice. You think he's gonna grab that Rob Lucci again? Khalifa, interesting. There's Brooke. Yep, that's fine. Probably be able to get rid of these little nobodies. All right, so we're gonna do this, that, draw, and then I think I want these so bad. Cease. You can at the very least force him to use his blocker. Or not. Okay. There's the other HEG. No, yeah, that's it. Rip. Ugh. Dang it. I'll have to watch back that match. Because I definitely... I had an advantage, and then at some point I lost it. I'm not sure exactly when I did. So we'll see. But man, black is always going to be a tough one. The nice thing is that we have a lot of recursion. If you don't get a batch, we're just gonna... I'm good. Oh, law. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Cavendish. Okay. Interesting. We got both of our puddings. Wow. Let's lock in. Let's actually lock in now. We're done being silly. We're gonna be serious for once. Unless this law player doesn't want to be serious with us. He could just be a silly guy too. He could just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna slow play this. And that's fine. Gives us some time to think, at least. So we got 4. Definitely playing out the EGG, I think. We're gonna get that established pretty fast. All right. Fancy tricks. Keep in mind, he hasn't hit once. A lot of fancy moves for not a lot going on. He only has 5 cards in hand. We could just throw down the card, but I don't think we do yet. He's got 2 blockers, so he's going to give up one of these. Probably very likely the law. And then we'll just swing into the law. Or if we go for life. No, because then he's definitely going to throw a blocker. Trying to think about the counterplay. This one wouldn't be... I don't like this play. Well, let's just see. Hmm. You think he's gonna try to do his sneaky little shambles trick again? He's at 7, so he's probably gonna end up dropping his 7 drop law, which then we can just red rock away. Yeah, there it is. Which we're completely fine with red rock in this. If we can draw a black bug, that would be great. Got 2 blockers out. Okay. So give up a blocker. Come on. Yes. That's fine. Evil fucked up things that I do with my deck. You can still shambles if you like. You still got a 5 cost on field. He's starting to get to that hand size where he's like, it's getting close. Oh, he's getting desperate. Nice. So at 8, what can he do for 8? He can kid, which would be kind of an issue. But he's gonna law instead. Unfortunately, we don't have a way of dealing with this law. Not in hand, at least. I don't have 2Ks in hand anymore. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Just thinking here. So that's definitely 6. I don't think it matters too much. So we're doing good. So we got at least 6. We got 6K in hand. That'll keep us fine. Keep us healthy. Now he's at 7 cards. Ooh, he's gonna hate this. another one. Man, oh, these are getting sticky now. I'm not liking that. So he has a 2K counter. I'm just gonna putting him. Yeah, I'm not worried. He says with confidence. So I want to get rid of this too, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's fine. Ooh. When approach 2 cost those characters. Uh-oh. This is going into life. Oh no. Caramel, how could you? You gotta put a Dawn. Don't forget to put your Dawn on him. There you go. It's a little late for stage, I gotta say. It doesn't even matter at this point. Ugh. Oh. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, GG. Ugh. You know, it's like clockwork, man. Every week, I come on here, I do my silly little dance for everyone, and I try to play these dumb decks, try to get some wins in here, and I'm just like, nothing. I spend so much time. Oh, I just want to win. Please. Just let me sequence everything correctly. I'm losing my mind here. I am legitimately losing my mind here. He got stage. Okay. Bad news bears. Can he grab himself? I believe so, yeah. You know, he could also be playing a pudding. That makes me nervous. If he's playing pudding, I'm nervous. Because he's at 4 Dawn too. He could also be playing pudding, who knows? Scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. Maybe we want to keep him above 5 cards because he does draw cards once you start getting rid of certain things. Is this a 1K? Yeah, it's a 1K. Unfortunately, I don't think Black Bug is going to be very good in this situation. I definitely have a 2K. I don't have a lot of 2Ks in hand, which is strange. I think by now I'd have a couple of 2Ks. There's one of them. Okay, so this is a blocker. Ugh, all their stupid math. Ah, that's fine. We didn't need them. Because everything's going to be over 5K. We actually, we should be fine. On KO, 3 costs are lower. It's another blocker he can play. Makes me nervous. And you might throw this at it, which would be fine because then we go here again and then face. Okay, interesting. Counter. He's at 8. What can you do? Rebecca? Kairos? Kairos, I think, bounces a body. Rebecca plays something from the grave. He could also play Luffy. If he has Luffy in this list, he could play out Luffy. It's unfortunate that he got rid of his Red Rock. Red Rock would have been useful, but then I would have been able to probably play this back out again. So maybe not. How many 2Ks do I have? I have one. Got one 2K. Unfortunate. Thing is, his characters have like pseudo rush, so maybe I should have kept that 2K. There's a searcher, right? So 6. What can you do for 6? I don't know the dress rosa package that great. I think there are some. Oh well, yeah. Okay. He's got one blocker. You think we can fake him out to play out his blocker? Actually, before that. Oof. Unfortunate. Let's get him to use up his blocker. Probably should have attacked with my leader, actually, because, yeah, it's fine. Same result's gonna happen, regardless. Interesting. Crap. Oh. Why is he messing with me? He's messing with my brain. Okay. And then we're just gonna play out a blocker. That's fine. For 10 Dawn, do you think he has a Kaido? Do you think he has a Kaido for 10 Dawn? What is the likelihood of that? That'd be crazy. What are you playing, buddy? Okay, he's bouncing. Wonder if that was on purpose. Let's see what we can do. A trash stage. Grab another 2K. What bodies do I have? Yeah, I do have an ETG. Do I have another ETG in the grave? Because I see the little guy. I do have a big guy. Okay. Trashing. I think we'll trash Porsche. Okay. He'll be able to draw if he blocks, but that's fine. Wish I had one more Dawn. Interesting. Because then I think I'm gonna search. Okay. Dang. Ugh. I took too long to get a win. But it took an Usopp. That's fine. There we go. All right. Calm. that was more difficult than it needed to be. It took, what is it, 3 games to finally feel like we were actually doing something. No, I mean, Usopp can be good. This Usopp actually started off pretty strong. I don't know. Not sure. I feel like maybe his when he attached Dawn to Kairos and passed, I think that might have been a misplay on his end. So he might have just kind of rage quit from that point onwards. But that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, there's Reiju. Another deck under the belt. Reiju's fun. I actually really like this list a lot. Again, usually when I'm not streaming, this deck does just fine, but you know, that means next to nothing if it can't perform on stream. But yeah, having the red rocks over the judges, I personally like a little more, just because like Judge is fine, like he's a cool like ooh big flashy card for Vin Smokes, but realistically like good old-fashioned just red rock gets the job done. If I could run more, I probably would, but then I'd probably be cutting Black Bug for that. But Black Bug's also really good, just because like in the off chance that you need to get rid of a 5-drop, there's a lot of significant 5-drops in the game right now. I just wish I wish you could have a bigger deck so I could put more of these. But yeah, obviously we didn't see Gion get used at all, which is fine because it's a 2K counter, so it doesn't have to be. I felt like I was holding on to my pudding a little too much in the past 2 games at least, because it was pretty rough using it against the Law, just because the Law was shuffling its hand, but he was always at 5 or 4 cards in hand, but he kept shuffling things in and out of it, so it made it hard to decide whether or not I wanted to pudding, because you never know, because when you pudding, sometimes you can give people better hands, so that's always the downside of trying to pudding something. Everything else, I mean, everything else kind of functioned how you'd expect it to function. I used Sora more in this stream than I have ever playing this deck. I never realized that I was going to use Sora at all. But man, I've had some, these were rough games. I don't know why I had such a rough time on stream with this. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just, you know, you do what you got to do. But honestly, this came in clutch. Using Sora, obviously trashing cards from hands isn't ideal when you're really low on hand size, but you know, being able to pull out your Ichijis and Reijus from your trash. You know, golden, especially when you can pull out a big 7-drop when your opponent doesn't think you can. So super fun. Yeah, there's the deck. I think it's working fine. I think this deck is going to perform just perfectly fine if you're a more experienced Reiju player. I think we only have like 10 whiffs in our searches. So that's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 12, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, like 12-ish bricks from searchable things. Plus, if you add the Foxy Pirate stuff, that's going to be a lot more. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. Go ahead and love you and leave you here. This Friday, what are we doing Friday? I don't know what we're doing Friday. We're going to do something on Friday. I'll figure that out. It'll be a mystery. Ooh. Probably Pokemon. We're almost done with Pokemon. I think the next Pokemon stream is going to be the last one. So get ready for that one. But anywho, I will catch you guys on the next one. And until next time, goodbye. Bye.